Hey everyone, welcome to DittDott. My name is Amanda. Today, fall is in the air at the Pacific Northwest. We've had a very nice, cold, rainy day. I've got a candle lit that has like a crackling sound to it, so it sounds like a fire. And I just had to close the door because it was raining so hard outside. But it is a perfect day for chili, so let's get cooking. There are as many chili recipes out there as there probably are types of chili. And this is just a fast, like you can make this one on a weekday when you're really busy type of meal. You can do this one in an Instapot, but I'm gonna do it on the stove today. It's not a fancy chili, it's just your good everyday, hey, I'm craving chili, let's make some fast chili. I'm from Texas, so I know that chili is like a secret recipe for a lot of families, and people will like fight for the right that they're the chili master. I am not a chili master. This is just a really good basic chili. Okay, so I've got a big old pile of onion. I chose a yellow onion today. White onion actually would be really good. It would give some bite to your chili, although it's gonna be cooked down. So honestly, I mean, I wouldn't use a purple onion or red onion. They look purple. I always call them purple onions. Anyway, I wouldn't use that, but you know, whether it's a yellow, a white, even a sweet onion, probably wouldn't be my first choice, but yellow onions do tend to be on the sweeter side. But if you're intimidated by different types of onions, don't be. Just, you know, when in doubt, use a yellow onion in my opinion. All right, so I've got about 4 cloves of garlic that I am chopping up, but I kept one right here to show you quickly my favorite way to peel a clove of garlic that I plan on chopping, and I don't want to like have it stay whole so that I can grate it easily, is I put it on my cutting board and I take the flat side of my knife and just carefully with the palm of my hand press down and crush it, and that way the peel will just pop right off. Now, if it's a really fresh clove of garlic, sometimes you still will have to work at the peel a little bit, but in most cases, they'll just pop right off. I also, when I'm cooking, I either like to work right next to the stove so I can like chop a vegetable and put it right in my skillet, or I like to work on a really big cutting board like this where I can just kind of pile everything up, move it out of the way, and go to the next vegetable. Whoa, bell pepper overboard. So I don't always put a bell pepper in my chili, but a lot of times I try to sneak in any kind of vegetable that I think will go in a dish, and that's what I'm doing tonight. So I'm going to go ahead and chop up a bell pepper to add to this chili. I will stack them up and put them skin side down on my cutting board, and then that way you can just cut really fast. The skin side down on your cutting board will help your knife kind of go through your bell pepper. Sometimes the skin side will provide a little bit of resistance, especially if your knife isn't super sharp, which, by the way, a dull knife is way more dangerous than a sharp knife because you're more likely to injure yourself. I keep debating whether or not I want to invest in some wood cutting boards. For one thing, I love my blue. Y'all know I've got some blue highlights all around my kitchen. There's some back there. I love my blue, so I'm really attached to this blue cutting board, but the silicone cutting boards really are not the best for your knives. Wood cutting boards are better for them. Okay, so I'm gonna get this chopped up, and then we will take this over here and start cooking. All right, so I pulled out just kind of a medium-sized pan. Like I said, I'm not making chili for like the block or the entire family reunion. I'm just making chili for the family dinner. And this isn't one that we want a ton of leftovers. We like to eat it once and then we're done. If I do have any leftovers, sometimes I will put it in small amounts in a Ziploc bag and have it for on top of hot dogs and have chili dogs. I'm just going to put down just a little bit of oil. This is avocado oil, but whatever oil you have preference for. And then we're gonna just go ahead and get these vegetables all in the skillet. They can all go in at the same time. Part of this fall weather, earlier this week, I was over at my friend Joy's house and I helped her make a fall wreath. So Joy is a YouTuber who is 100% completely blind. And so we had fun filming for her channel, her making this wreath just with touch. So her video should be out by the time this video goes up. We had so much fun, so you definitely should watch that video. And hi to all of the subscribers that came to my channel from Joy's channel. One of my favorite things about YouTube is collabing with other YouTubers. It's so much fun. We are going to give this a chance to cook down. It's going to take about 5 minutes or so that we're just going to soften these onions up before we add the next ingredients. You know, guys, I don't cook with recipes and I make things up as I go along. And there is a huge debate in the chili community about whether or not beans are allowed to be included in chili. So in a true, authentic Texas chili, typically there are no beans. I guess it's just kind of up to you whether or not you want to put beans in it. I'm trying to decide. I want to see how much once I get my beef going, and then I'm going to make the decision whether or not I want to add beans or not later. The other thing is, seriously, I had this on my menu last week, and it was a nice cool day. It was like a tease of fall, and I'm like, ooh, chili. And then it got back up into the 80s, and so I never made it. So, which was great because I had forgotten to buy beef broth. So I went to the grocery store again this morning, and I just rolled that chili over onto this week's menu plan because I didn't make it last week. I still forgot to buy beef broth, but I'm not gonna let that stop me. I am just gonna use chicken broth. Go ahead and use beef broth. It'll give it a, beefier flavor. But honestly, water, whatever, it doesn't really matter. Just adding chicken stock or beef broth is gonna give you a little bit more flavor. Okay, so now our veggies have been cooking down. I mean, they're not all the way, but they are starting to get softened. So we're gonna go ahead and add in our beef. So I'm actually just using ground beef tonight, and I have made this with cubed beef where you cook it low and slow all day until the beef starts to shred apart. But tonight we're going fast. So I like to do with a very lean beef. That way I don't have to drain it at the end because there's not gonna be enough grease to need to drain it. I'm just gonna break this up. I think I'm tossing vegetables over the side. Whew. I'm gonna lower the heat just a little bit because it's sticking as this is going here. So I'm just working on breaking the beef, and I'm gonna continue doing that as I add seasoning. So one thing is chili powder. Now, chili powder is actually a blend of it usually, I'm gonna go into more detail on that in just a second here, but it's a blend of chilies and garlic, and sometimes it has cumin. So it's not straight up just ground up chili.
According to Wikipedia, chili powder is usually a blend of chili peppers such as ancho, jalapeno, cayenne, including other spices like cumin, onion, and garlic powder. If you are new to buying chili, it can be kind of confusing. Some of these are dehydrated and ground up whole chilies, but some of them are spice blends.
You're gonna want a lot of it. I'm gonna start off with almost like a quarter cup of it. Then I'm gonna add in some paprika, which also sometimes is in chili powder. This blend, I don't remember what exactly is. I think it does have some paprika in it. And some cumin. Whoa, cumin is pretty strong, so start off with less and add more. When you open your cumin, you should be able to smell it. This one will go stale pretty quickly, and if you can't smell it, don't use it. I mean, it won't hurt you, it just won't help you either. And then, because, chili kind of goes back to the cowboy days where they would cook it over a fire, an open fire. Oh gosh, it smells so good. The salt that I'm going to use today is my smoked salt, and I'm going to put a link in the description box below of the salt that I buy off Amazon. I absolutely love this. This one's an applewood smoked salt, and it just adds that hint of, like, let's pretend we cooked this over the fire today. So we're gonna work all of these in. Now, one thing that you will notice I did not add is any red chili pepper flakes or any just ground
Cayenne chili
or anything like that. My family likes mild food, so I'm gonna leave all that out because this chili powder is actually pretty mild. If you're a family that loves spicier foods, by all means, please add in those chili powders that are just ground up chili. I still want to work down on my beef, but I'm gonna get it there. Oh gosh, it's already looking really amazing. But here is one of my secrets. I'm going to add about, okay, let me show you how to do this. Okay, so I don't want to cover the beef I'm going to add enough liquid that it's like about half covered. So about that much, maybe a little bit more. Let me see. I want it kind of soupy right now. So a little bit, actually, I changed my mind. I'm gonna almost cover it. Then get that kind of in there. I'm gonna lower the heat, get that nice and stirred in, and I'm gonna make a slurry. If I put this flour into this hot pot, it's gonna add clumps. So this is 1/3 of a cup, but I don't think I need that much. So I'm only gonna use a couple tablespoons here of flour, and then enough chicken stock that I can make what's called a slurry. Drink some of my tea here. I gotta have tea on a fall day, guys. I love hot tea. It should be no lumps. If this is lumpy, that won't do. And I'm trying to think, what does this look like? It's very, very loose and wet. All right, the flour is now completely incorporated, and I'm going to pour it into my skillet or my pot. I've got it on low. I'm going to stir that flour in. It will help thicken up all that chicken stock. And this is where we want to let it simmer for at least 15 minutes. That's going to make sure that our beef gets all the way cooked through and help those flavors kind of incorporate. But if you can let it simmer just on like low, I'll probably put it on my back burner, which is my lowest simmering burner. This front one puts out more BTUs. And if you can let it simmer for 30, 45 minutes, then you're just gonna get a better flavor. I'm gonna add a dash of Worcestershire sauce. That is so fun to say. I'm one of the few people that likes to say Worcestershire. Oh, now I'm gonna stumble on it. Worcestershire sauce. Then I'm gonna go ahead and give this a quick just taste to see where I am with the seasonings and see if I wanna add anything right off the bat. Now these are not gonna be developed flavors yet. Oh, wow. Okay, I kind of oversalted it. So that's gonna answer my bean question. When you oversalt something, the best way to get, and it's just gonna concentrate down as it keeps cooking. So I'm gonna go ahead and add these beans because it'll bulk it up and I won't have to add any more salt. And then that will save my dish there. Sometimes with that sea salt, I can get, I mean, not sea salt, smoked salt, get a little ambitious. But the chili powder and those other flavors were spot on. So I'm gonna go ahead and open up this can and we'll add them in. Okay, I gave them a quick rinse, but not too much because the beans will kind of just add to the thickness of the chili as it's cooking. My hands are still all wet. So, you know, we're just keeping it real here on DittDott like I always do. I like to show you how home cooks really cook in the kitchen and, you know, mistakes happen. And so how can you just go about and keep on going so that you can get dinner on the table, you know? Don't have beef broth? Make a substitution. Sometimes recipes can get really fussy and be like, oh, you need these specific things. But if you don't have that ingredient, then you feel like you might not be able to cook dinner that night. Most of the time, you can do something to substitute or fix it or whatnot. So I'm gonna go ahead and let this cook. Hold on, let me show it to you one more last time. Oh. This is like a little bit loose, but not too much. It's pretty close. So if it gets too thick, I will add a little bit more water or stock, but this is looking really good. And while it's simmering, I'm gonna get some toppings ready. I've heard on the internet that you can put potato into a soup or something like that you've oversalted to help draw out some of the salt. I don't know if that's actually true, but I had one tiny little potato that was in my pantry. It was kind of lonely. I said, hey, what do we have to lose? So I cut it up and put it in there. And actually adding the beans, I tasted it again. It's already like not as salty. It's not like I completely oversalted it, y'all. It's just a little bit saltier than I wanted. And since I knew I'd be concentrating down the flavor some more, I didn't want it to be too salty. But I figured it'd be kind of a fun time to try out the potato trick, and we'll see my final thoughts on that in a little bit after we've given it enough time to simmer down. Okay, I keep tasting it and it's really good, but it just seems like it's still missing something tonight. So I am gonna go ahead and put tomato paste in this. A lot of chilies actually do have tomatoes, canned tomatoes, tomato sauce, but I was doing a method that doesn't usually have tomato base in it. I don't know. I just really think that it will benefit from having a little bit of tomato paste, just like maybe 2 tablespoons worth. I wish I had my squeezed tomato paste, but I guess I used that all up because I searched my refrigerator and could not find it.
The very next morning, what's the first thing I saw when I opened my fridge? My tomato paste. Does that happen to you?
So I will put the rest of this in a Ziploc bag and put it in the freezer. And then that way, next time I want it, you can actually kind of just break it off into like little tablespoon amounts and use it that way. I'm going to kind of stir to get that tomato in, but it's been simmering for about 15 minutes. Oh, it looks so good. There's those potatoes. I don't know if they did anything. Well, I mean, it's not salty, so maybe it did. I need another spoon to taste. Okay, let's go another quick taste. Yep. That's what it needs. Oh my gosh, that's so good. Yes. So like, just keep adjusting and tasting, and that's what cooking is about. It's exploring and thinking and like, what could make this recipe just a little bit better. So, all right, we're gonna go ahead and plate up a bowl with all the exciting extras that can go with chili and give it a final taste. Watson, are you hoping there's some chili for you? I don't think you would actually like chili, Watson. He says, let me try it and I will let you know, Mama. You my good helper, aren't you, good boy? All right, I took the potatoes out lest my family thinks I'm completely bonkers. And going to, oh, aren't these bowls the cutest? I got these for Christmas from my mama a couple years ago and I love them. So I'm gonna go ahead and put in a couple hearty scoops. Oh, it smells so amazing. I like my chili. So a lot of people like cornbread as a side dish with chili, but I just wasn't feeling the cornbread thing tonight. So I'm gonna put some sharp cheddar down on mine. I do like to eat saltine crackers with my chili, but I don't have any. Apparently, like, it's too early into fall to have all my chili stuff in my head, like what I need to get. So then I'm gonna put a dollop of sour cream. Let me know down in the comments if you put sour cream in your chili. I love it with sour cream. So we're gonna put a dollop of Daisy. Oh, it's actually Tillamook. That was that commercial. When was that? Oh my gosh, so many years ago. Dollop of Daisy. I like Tillamook because it's just cream and, why can't I think of the word? Probiotics. It's got acidophilus and, you know, other probiotics. All right, now I'm going to put some pickled jalapenos down because that's delicious. I'm like trying to make this all pretty. And then I got some chives from my garden. Oh, this is looking gorgeous. Oh yes, I am. I am being silly and cutting out the tips of some to make it fancy. All right, we will give this a taste. Stir my sour cream in and make it not pretty anymore. But that way you get the flavor of everything and the cheese. Let's give this, oh my gosh, can't wait. Yes, that is fall right there in a bowl. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Make sure that, oh, I gotta take one more bite. Hold on, guys, this is so good. Make sure that you hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, so that you get more fun cooking with me in the kitchen. If you aren't following me on Instagram, I'm also DittDott, DittDott over on Instagram. I post lots of like fast little things and tips throughout the week, and I post a lot more about my fitness and health journey over there. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure that you check out my Sloppy Joe video for some more ideas on what to do with some ground beef. Until the next time, bye.